Welcome back, guys, to another Chic Potato video. Today, we're hitting you up with a original podcast. We got Benjamin Savala, Mika Patel, and me. So, we're gonna start this off podcast. It's about communism and democracy with my side, democracy, and then Benjamin's gonna do his side, which is communism, and then Nikhil is gonna do his side, which is he hates both of them. So, pro monarchy for the win, ain't it? Okay, so,
we're not gonna explain about monarchy in this documentary.
No, we're not gonna explain that. That's another podcast.
Yeah, that's a whole nother podcast. So, let's start with my, wonderful democracy, which I think is, of course, the best. So, starting off, democracy gives all the rights for the people, which include rights to expression, speech, right to believe in whatever you want to, like, beliefs, like religious beliefs or opinions, and to form organizations like trade unions or governmental parties, which give everyone a place to share their experiences and improve society together. So the United States government is split into the judicial, executive, and legislative branches, which separate the burden of maintaining a government. So, as you probably know, the judicial takes care of courts in the Supreme Court, of course, and the penal system. The legislative branch is basically the Congress, and they make laws and they modify them. And, to make sure that there are as much opinions in there and freedoms. We have 435 senators in a democracy. So then we have the fact that the economic growth is steady, and it doesn't go up or down like communism does sometimes. And everyone has a say in the democracy, whether you're voting for your senators, your government, and your president. You have a say in the government. So there's a lot of countries that have democracy, and those include the U.S. of course. In Europe.
Just to be clear, the example he gave is just the U.S. Like there's.
Yeah, that's the U.S. Yeah, the U.S. The other countries like in Europe use different systems. Like they have parliaments and whatever, but we're not going to get into that. So Benjamin, why do you give your counterpoints now?
Well, good point, Sammy. But let me give you my points about why communism is better than democracy. First, I'll start by defining communism. Communism is a form of government that was originally advocated for by Karl Marx. It has the goal of equalizing a society so that every person works and receives payment based on their needs and abilities. The government owns all property. Most importantly, this includes the factors of production. The four factors of production are labor, entrepreneurship, capital goods, and natural resources. Thanks to communism, economic growth is massive. One example is the Soviet Union. The USSR began to focus on their economy when Stalin rose to power in 1924. The rights of the people were below the country's needs. In addition, people were paid according to their own needs and their working capabilities. This made the economy grow as it had more focus. Thanks to this, the country gained money and power faster, so then the people's needs could be focused on. It is a perfect example of communism, which could be used in today's economy. And these are the reasons why communism is much better than democracy, Sammy.
Well, Nikhil, why don't you give your counterpoints now, and then I'll debate with Benjamin.
Some good points on why democracy and communism are both beneficial, but nothing's perfect, so I'll be talking about why the cons of democracy and communism. Let's start off with democracy. Democracy is based on the needs of the majority, not everyone. The minorities feel as if their countries didn't like their idea. This can cause hate or violent crimes. Democracy can be very expensive. Like, statistics show that every election in the United States since 2000 has costed over $1 billion each. Local elections, which includes like governors, mayors, and city councils, can cost over $100,000. And if you think about it, this amounts to a lot of money. For a democracy to work to its full extent, the public needs to be educated and intelligent, and most of the time, it's not the case. It makes it easier for like certain individuals or groups to manipulate the democratic system to their own advantage. Sammy, what do you think of these points so far?
Well, so far combining yours and Benjamin's, I really think that Benjamin's point about Karl Marx and its formation about communism, really, it kind of it's overshadowed by mine. Democracy was made by the ancient Greeks. Even though they made direct democracy and we use representative democracy, it still has a basic idea. So it's been in use for a lot more time than communism, and it really has shown its advantages. And especially in the fact that there's actually food in the country, whereas in the USSR, for example, there was no food, and the people's needs were never focused on, despite the massive economy. So that's
Nikhil, I think you should continue your points. I think it's better to let you continue.
And Sammy did mention representative democracy, and this is what the U.S. uses. For example, like governors, like there's an election, and like what the people want, the governors convey their ideas to higher, like
yeah, it goes up the
and-
tree, right? Yeah.
But the thing is, like I said before, it's based on the needs of the majority, and like sometimes there could be like a very close vote, and like almost half the people don't get what they want, so it makes it really to come to an agreement. Whereas communism, the government controls everything. Like, I'm not saying that's better. It's easier because they don't have to deal with other opinions because everyone's just forced to do what the government says in communism. So, like, in communism, the government has the power to invade every right of the peoples, which limits their freedom. Is to for every person to have equal rights and pay based on their capabilities. But it has been proven that that's not really what happens. Historical records show that citizens tend to live most of their life in poverty, while government members or leaders have many luxuries like a higher pay and a larger house. Keep in mind, this has an extremely negative impact on communist societies. What do you think about this, Benjamin and Sammy?
Well, I think with your points and the explanation that Sammy gave us is actually very I think it may change what I think about communism and democracy. Like, maybe they're equal, or maybe democracy may be better than communism. Yes, there have been many times where a lot of people died in communism, but the good thing is that the economy of that country prospers, it increases. But I understand that the points that you both gave, that they explain how communism
exactly like
kills people.
What we're trying to say is, like, communism and democracy, like, they each have their pros and cons. Not one is, like, better than the other.
Yeah, I think what we're getting to is that they're both equal. They both have their ups and downs, as Nikhil said, and you can't. It depends on what your country needs. If your country needs to expand and really grow, then it should use communism, even though the people will suffer. For example, China, right? They've grown immensely because of communism.
People suffered a lot.
Yeah, but people suffered a lot, and a lot of them still are.
We also have the USSR as an example. Like,
right, yeah. They went from from nothing to like number 2.
A lot of nukes, like 28,000 nukes or something like that.
Yeah,
And
at their peak.
Yeah, to their peak.
Even more than the U.S.
But
A
yeah,
lot of this is from their like ideals of communism.
Right,
but
yeah.
then, yeah, a lot of people starve to death, and that's like not nice.
So, guys, the conclusion I think here is you can't really go wrong with whatever. It really depends on your country, as you said.
Like,
And-
democracy focuses more on the social aspect of life.
Right. Democracy kind of goes for that, those better living standards, right? So it really depends. Each tribe, democracy and communism, works out or doesn't work out. Who knows? Communism might, work out someday, or democracy might not work in some countries. So we'll leave you off with that, guys. Our opinion.
You can decide yourself.
Yeah, we hope you can decide yourselves. But our opinion is they're both relatively equal on the same plane. But that was it, guys. So leave a like and subscribe.
Well, one thing, guys. Nikhil, we'll give you another podcast for your monarchy. Don't worry, but that's some complicated stuff.
Yeah, that's some complicated. Well, guys, Monarchy Gang.